It takes twice as long to do anything in the winter time. This has been sitting here for about a week, and it didn't get used much this whole summer. So these are always broadcasting signal to, I guess, cat headquarters for maintenance as well as theft. So that does drain the battery down. You just need to use them once in a while, and then the cold weather doesn't help. Let those glow plugs cycle a little bit. There we go. Okay, we'll let this warm up a little bit in the shop. Put all this back away. Come on, keep running. Machine pulled in. All the doors are kind of froze and shut. I don't want to just pull too hard and rip all that foam. I can't get anything opened yet. Everything's still frozen. Rather than turn the heat up in the garage, I thought this would be a nice test. Turn that on. Let's see if it'll run this 175,000 BTU space heater. Let this thaw out. I'm going to go home and get some dry clothes on. Give this about 45 minutes. Heat all this up. I can get these panels opened up. 81%. We'll see where we're at when we get back. Now I've been down the house. Wonder if that burst of air just shut that off. I've been down the house for about an hour and a half. I got sidetracked doing some stuff. Everything is pretty thawed out. Might kick back on. Okay, let's see how we're doing. 75%. So it dropped. What was that? What was I on? 81%. So 6% it dropped in about an hour. So I'm going to go ahead and get something plugged in. Now I remember why we don't use this heater. It's all cloudy in here. Okay, so let's get on maintenance on this. While, now there was a lot of snow on that. There, that's how it's supposed to open. This is my last machine to service, and then I have to do my 2 dump trucks, and I am done. And we are still, well, we're at the end of January, so I still have all February. I have a guy's trip coming up next week, so I'll be gone. And then Donna and I have a trip coming up later in the winter. So I still have probably 4 or 5 weeks in here. Quite a few projects I want to get going on. And I'm just looking this over, see where to start. I always start with draining the oil. And I was running this quite a bit this morning, so it's probably still warm. Yeah, it's still warm. That'll drain okay. So let's get the panels off, get that oil draining. Fuel, oil, hydraulic, and air. Check the fan belts. Check the hydraulic lines, just what I can see. Make sure everything's tight, nothing's leaking. This machine's fairly low hours. And again, as usual, cleaning and greasing. Don't forget the final drives. Now I really like these pepcock valves that the machines have on them. Let's see if I can do this and hold the camera. You don't need a wrench to take them out. You just turn that, and the oil starts dripping out. This lever right here. Open and closed. Alright, so we'll let that drain out. It actually looks pretty clean for a diesel engine. Let's see how many hours we have on this machine. 873. Okay, here we are, 305 oil, fuel, hydraulic, and air, 840. So about 33 hours of use last year on that machine. Not a lot of hours. Nevertheless, we'll go ahead and get the filters changed, and it's good to go for the season. I don't think it's a waste of money doing this. I really don't. While the oil's draining, usually start with the air. That's real easy and goes quick. Wipe this out. Might as well clean it out while I'm doing it, right? Okay, with 33 hours of use on it, still looks pretty good. Inner and outer. So make sure you're getting the right part. 454, 50, 34. Good. Sometimes there's an arrow on these. A little slot that lines up. Inner's done. Outer. 415, 25, 92. Good number. When it doesn't say, I usually just put the writing up. You'll feel that lock into place. Nice and clean in there. Good. Air's done. Hard part's keeping the garage clean while I'm doing all this. Now onto the fuel. These just unscrew and new one goes on. You have a white line right here on the housing as well as on the filter housing. So just give that an unscrew. And I was looking for a shut off, but I do not see one. Pull that out. Now this cartridge should pull right out of there. And I always save this in my cleaning bucket for whenever I'm doing the machines. So that goes in the garbage. And I dump all this fuel out. Make sure the bottom's nice and clean. They give you a new gasket. Don't use a knife. Use a probe. like a dental tool. If you use a knife, you can cut this gasket and then you just wind up with a leak. So take that old one off and put your new one on. Get a little coat of diesel fuel on there. Now there's a rubber washer. I believe it goes on the bottom here. So I'm not opening that up. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't telling you wrong, and it went up in there. Again, this will turn and drop right into place. Like that. Put your drain hose back where it goes. And then screw on until your white lines match up again. Here it comes right here. Good. Make sure that hose is good. There's a filter right here behind it that they did not give me. I'm going to let it slide, but I do not see it in the box. Okay, moving on to the hydraulic. Okay, so I just take these two bolts out and remove this cover. And then I set these right in a metal magnet can, just so I don't lose them. And I usually have a couple laying around here. There's my breakfast bar. That way I know where they're at. Okay. Now this will come out of the way. Unscrew, replace the filter. Now they make a number of different oil filter wrenches. This canister's on here pretty tight. So this is one form of wrench. Rest it up against the slot, squeeze, and turn. Once you get it loose, you can just get it the rest of the way off. Be ready to leak some oil. Checking the filter numbers. 421 5481, good number. So right here and here, squeeze. This comes up and out in the box. New filter. Careful, it is a slippery one. Make sure your hands are nice and clean. Hydraulics are very sensitive. You don't want to contaminate anything in there. Push until you hear a clip. Push until you hear a clip. There you go. Get some fluid around that O-ring. Now the way this is tapered, it'll find its position in there as you twist it on. Okay. You can sort of wipe it off once you get it on. And tighten. Do not cross thread these threads. You want to feel it go on nice and smooth until your white lines line up. I'm sure there's an exact tool that goes on here. I'll use this universal wrench. There we go. Good. Okay, wipe all that clean. Wipe these off. And here is all the different oil filter wrenches I was talking about. Some go over the canister, some have a band to go around it. Different size. With the hydraulic filter changed, now the container compartment is empty. Here is the fill tube. It tells you if you're low on hydraulic fluid. So you can see I'm on the lower third of it. We want to be middle to upper third. So once I get the oil done, we'll go ahead and run this machine and we'll top that fluid off. As well as leave this open and I'll check for leaks. Okay, checking the number 3776969. Good number. So here's where I get a bunch of controversy. And I don't really understand it. Not everybody. Some people say, oh, that's good practice. I fill these up with oil before I put them on. It's clean in here. It's clean out of the drum. There's no contamination here. So I fill up the filter. I've been doing it this way for, oh my gosh, since I was 10 years old. We're talking almost 50 years of doing it this way. That's right, 10. 10 years old, I was changing oil in the driveway, on the gravel, with no creeper. So fill that up, half, 3/4, as full as you can get it. Wet that gasket. Move your coffee. They say that's a waste of oil or waste of time. I don't know what it is. Some viewers are saying, turn the engine on, it'll fill up before the engine runs dry. I say, why risk it? Get it back under pressure as soon as possible. Everybody is entitled to their opinion. I'm not going to block them from the channel. That would be political. I'm not going to do that. Everybody has their opinion. Now, if they get insulting, of course I'll block that. Keep them sensible, and I'll read them, I'll listen to you, I'll let everybody else see them. Dirty oil. With a clean paper towel. Where did I set them at? Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, the track was all wet. I didn't want them getting all messed up. So, nice clean paper towel. Wipe that housing off. Okay, good and clean. I must grab the old filter and put on there. Now go ahead and put this on. Now with this filter full of oil, or half or 3/4 full, it's going to get under pressure a lot quicker, because I don't want to start it and rev it up. It sits at idle. And the old ones, you could watch a gauge. You'd start it and it would be at 0 once it runs for a little bit. Now the gauge goes up. You want that gauge to get under pressure. You want that engine to get under pressure and back to being protected as quick as you can, in my opinion. Let's hear your thoughts on that. Give this about a 3/4 or full turn. So again, that's why they make so many different oil filter wrenches. What works here doesn't work on the next machine. Okay, it's just about done draining. Grab a flashlight and I start looking around, checking the fan belt. Just looking at it, it's really tight to get in there. Everything looks good. And then what you can do is you want to feel about an inch play. Pushing on it to pulling on it. About an inch, no more. Try and spin the belt. You just feel it grabbing. It's holding really good. So no slipping going on. Just looking over all the wires, making sure everything's good. Excuse me. And what I'm looking for, and I found it right here, like some signs of some rodents. Probably some mice, some field mice are looking for a place to get out of the weather. So right in here is a real common place. I don't see any nest. I just saw a little bit of waste. And then down here in the battery box, I don't really see any nests or debris. But what I'm going to do is right in here, I see a good spot. I'll take a bag of mothballs. There we go. Just a little bag. And tuck right underneath here. Now we can always get rid of these as we're using the machine. If we don't notice them in the cab, we'll leave them there. So I'll put one there, and I'm going to put one in here. Tuck it right in. Yeah, how about right there? So a bag of mothballs right there. That should keep them away. Okay, just wanted to show you that. I'm trying to touch on different things as I do service work, and that is one of them.